Could the Lakers be flirting with basketball brilliance or courting absolute disaster? What happens when one of the most talented point guards of his generation becomes theoretically available, but comes wrapped in a package of injury concerns, emotional turmoil, and a kind of high-stakes gamble that could either deliver a championship or destroy a franchise's carefully constructed culture? Kyrie Irving has always been and will always remain one of the most skilled point guards of his generation. His ball-handling wizardry is nothing short of magical. His shooting stroke is lethal from anywhere on the court, and his basketball IQ becomes a game-changing weapon when contests tighten and every possession matters. Yet any scenario that places Irving at the center of trade discussions with the Lakers must confront two words that evoke both excitement and terror in equal measure: injury and controversy. From a purely basketball perspective, Kyrie maintains a resume and skill set to seamlessly integrate alongside elite talent. He's a door opener on cramped courts, a player who can create shots out of thin air, and when healthy, he transforms any offensive rotation into a dynamic, unpredictable force. However, the most recent developments have fundamentally altered the entire conversation. Reliable reports indicate that Irving has suffered a torn ACL, a devastating injury that not only ends the season but raises serious questions about his immediate return timeline and his post-recovery performance level. This single factor alone should make the Lakers, or any other franchise, think long and hard before opening their coffers for a 33-year-old player whose near-term future is shrouded in uncertainty. The physical concerns are just the beginning of this complex equation. Beyond the medical issues lies a human and chemistry component that cannot be ignored. Sources and interviews reveal that Irving is currently processing grief, emotionally shaken by recent developments in Dallas and the turbulent environment surrounding that franchise. This isn't merely a footnote for teams that prioritize internal culture. It's potentially a significant problem for team chemistry and leadership dynamics. Even if Irving's basketball brilliance speaks volumes, his reintegration into an already established roster like the Lakers would require careful management and considerable patience off the court. Think about the implications of this emotional state. The Lakers have spent considerable effort building a culture around LeBron James' leadership and the veteran presence of players who understand their roles. Introducing a player who's dealing with personal turmoil, regardless of his talent level, could disrupt the delicate balance they've worked so hard to establish. Championship teams require not just talent, but also emotional stability and collective focus. Irving's current state raises legitimate questions about whether he can provide those intangible qualities that are essential for playoff success. From a strategic standpoint, acquiring Irving would represent a short-term gamble with potentially explosive offensive upside when he's healthy, but with alarmingly low predictability. Players like LeBron James and other veterans already command significant roles and touches, and Irving's presence could either be a tactical luxury that elevates their ceiling or a complication that creates unnecessary friction if his medical or personal needs overshadow the collective good. For executives who are rightfully concerned about trading away young assets for questionable decisions, the math simply doesn't add up favorably. The injury timeline is particularly concerning for a Lakers team operating with championship urgency. An ACL tear typically requires 8 to 12 months of recovery, meaning Irving wouldn't be available for the majority of the season, precisely when the Lakers need immediate impact to maximize LeBron's remaining prime years. Even when he does return, there's no guarantee he'll regain his pre-injury explosiveness and court vision. History is littered with point guards who never quite returned to their previous level after major knee injuries. And at 33 years old, Irving will be fighting both time and biology in his recovery process. The financial implications are equally daunting. Irving's contract demands would likely require the Lakers to part with multiple valuable assets, potentially including young players who represent their future beyond the LeBron era. Trading away promising talent for a player who might not even be available until next season, and who comes with significant question marks about his long-term effectiveness, represents the kind of short-sighted decision-making that has haunted franchises for years. Yet, we cannot completely dismiss the tantalizing upside. When healthy and engaged, Irving remains one of the most clutch performers in NBA history. His ability to create and make impossible shots in crucial moments is legendary, and his chemistry with LeBron James, despite their complicated history, has produced championship-level basketball before. If the Lakers could somehow acquire Irving at a reasonable cost and successfully navigate his recovery process, they would possess one of the most dynamic offensive duos in the league. The emotional management aspect cannot be understated. Irving's current state of grief and frustration with his Dallas situation suggests a player who needs careful handling and a supportive environment to rediscover his best form. The Lakers would essentially be betting that their veteran leadership and championship culture could provide the stability Irving needs to refocus on basketball. This represents a significant gamble on human psychology and team chemistry, areas where even the most talented organizations can struggle. For Lakers fans, the dream is undeniably appealing. The thought of Irving's handles and clutch shooting complementing LeBron's playmaking and Anthony Davis's two-way dominance creates visions of unstoppable offensive sequences and championship parades. However, for the front office tasked with making rational decisions based on risk assessment and resource allocation, the equation becomes far more complicated. The Lakers must weigh Irving's undeniable talent against the very real possibility that he might not return to form, might struggle with team chemistry, or might simply be unavailable for the crucial stretch run when championships are won. They must consider whether trading away young assets and future flexibility for a player dealing with both physical and emotional challenges represents sound organizational strategy. This situation perfectly encapsulates the eternal tension between talent acquisition and risk management that defines NBA front office work. Irving's skill level is unquestionable, but the surrounding circumstances create a perfect storm of uncertainty that could either deliver championship glory or organizational chaos. The conclusion is both simple and complex. Kyrie Irving would represent an immediate splash to the Lakers, generating headlines and excitement throughout the basketball world. However, he would also represent an expensive and risky bet that could backfire spectacularly. If Los Angeles truly believes Irving is the missing piece for an immediate championship run, they would have to accept the considerable hidden costs, lengthy rehabilitation, ego management, and potential instability that could undermine everything they've built. For the fan base, the dream exists and will continue to tantalize. For the front office, there's a technical and human dilemma that weighs far more heavily than the magic Irving can create with a basketball in his hands. Sometimes the most talented players come with the highest costs, and those costs extend far beyond salary cap implications. Do you think the Lakers should take the massive gamble on Kyrie Irving despite his injury and emotional concerns? Could his championship experience and clutch gene be worth the risk? Or would this move represent the kind of short-sighted thinking that destroys franchises? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you believe this represents the ultimate high-risk, high-reward scenario in NBA team building, make sure to hit that like button. Sometimes the most talented players come with the most complicated decisions.